Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Rafael A. Sanchez. I'm from Group 7, Chapter 9 of Environmental Theories. Today I'm going to report the routine activity theory. So this theory helps us understand how everyday activities and surroundings create opportunities for crime. It does not focus on the criminal personality but instead on the situation that makes crime easier or harder to commit. So second is the definition of the activity theory. So routine activity theory was introduced by criminologists Lauren Cohen and Marcus Felson in 1979. It states that crime happens when three things come together in the same time and place. First is a motivated offender, second is a suitable target, and third is the absence of capable guardian. So it says also that crime is not only about bad people, it is about opportunity. So three keywords and their meanings is first is motivated offender, a person who is willing or looking for an opportunity to commit a crime. They may commit crime because of need, desire, or peer influence. Second is suitable target, something or someone. This is easy to attack, steal, or take advantage of. A target becomes suitable when it is valuable, easy to reach, not protected, distracted, or alone. So, example, phones, motorcycle, distracted people, or unlock homes. So, third is the absence of capable guardian. A guardian does not always mean a person. It can be anything that prevents crime, like police officers, security guards, CCTV, neighbors watching, dogs, lights, or barriers or locks. If protection is weak, or missing, the chance of crime increases. So next is how the routine activities affect crime. People follow daily routines, going to work, malls, market, parks, etc. As we move, our belongings are to differentiate environments. Criminals also observe patterns in public areas. So the crime tends to occur where everyday routines create natural opportunities, such as crowded areas, poorly lit areas, unsupervised places, or busy transportation routes. Next is real life example and explanation. Here are some examples. So first example is phone snatching during crowded street. How the three elements appear. So first is the motivated offender, a snatcher waiting for distracted people. Next is the suitable target, the exposed cell phone. Next is the absence of guardian. For example, no police or no CCTV, street is crowded and chaotic. So the result is more phone snatching becomes easy. Next example is the motorcycle theft in the dark areas. The situation is a motorcycle is parked on a poorly lit street with no lock. So first routine activity in action is the motivated offender again, the thief who steals motorcycle for parts. Suitable target, unlock visible motorcycle. Next is the no capable guardian. So there's no light, no CCTV, no people watching. So the result, motorcycle becomes an attractive target for the criminals. Next example is burglary in an empty house. So the situation is a family leaves home for vacation for several days. Elements present. So motivated offender The burglar looking for empty houses, so suitable targets, house with easy entry or no locks or no alarm. Watching, absence of guardian, no neighbors watching, no house sitter. Result, burglary becomes highly likely. So why routine activity theory is important? First is it helps the police identify high-risk places. Next is help government improve lighting, CCTV, and patrols. Help communities understand an empty house. So the situation is a family leaves home for vacation for several days. Elements present. So motivated offender, the burglar looking for empty houses, so suitable targets, house with easy entry or no locks or no alarm. Watching, absence of guardian, no neighbors watching, no house sitter. Result, burglary becomes highly likely. So why routine activity theory is important? First is it helps the police identify high-risk places. Next is help government improve lighting, CCTV, and patrols. Help communities understand how daily patterns create crime opportunities. Next is lastly shows that crime is a prevention is about reducing opportunities, not just catching criminals. So the conclusion is, in summary, routine activity theory explains that crime is not only about who the criminal is, but where opportunities arise. Crime occurs when a motivated offender plus a suitable target plus a no capable guardian equals crime opportunity. By reducing opportunity through lighting, surveillance, lock, awareness, we can significantly lower crime rates. So that's all. Thank you and good evening. Mabuhay at Mandayaw.
Good day everyone, my name is Similia Adrian Benz and I'm going to report broken theory or broken window theory. So, broken window theory is that if naay isa ka bagay or for example like naay graffiti, broken window or naay mga basura or mga loitering is that people will also do that because nagtuog sila nga walay nag-care ang lugar or walay nag-manage or nag-control. So, ang main idea ni if naisa ka broken window, pwede ra pud mag-commit sila pwede ra pud sila magdagdag og isa ka another broken window kay wala man na fix tong isa like mura kay na silang una is walay nag-care. So, ang main idea nin broken window theory is that ang gamay nga problema pwede siya mudako if dili dayon siya i-fix. So, if na isa ka broken window, then i-fix din na sa isa ka community or sa owner is that ma-stop na siya nga habit sa so for example instead nga duha ka window yung mabuak kay ma-feel sa mga tao nga walay nag-care ani so pwede ra bakon pag i-fix din to niyang isa ka broken window is that ma-stop dayon ang marag possibility nga na may tabo o kani pong broken window theory is that if ang isa ka lugar is daghang graffiti, daghang broken window or daghang mga window nga buak o daghan pug mga loiter or mga basura kani nga theory is naga-state pud siya nga kanang nga lugar mutaas ang possibility nga naay crime may tabor may mo na siyang dira nga area nga mo ano ang crime rate anang area ba mo taas like mga theft or assault. So ang main idea gyud ani nga theory is that once nga naay problema unya i-take care din siya or kanang sulbadon din siya sa isa ka community or government is ma-stop na siya nga behavior. So maghatag og example. For example kanang maghatag og example sa loitering. Ang isa ka lugar is hugaw kayo. So ang mga tao murag i-normalize nila ba nga maglabay-labay lang sila basura. So Ang mahitabo ana mas mudaghan ang basura kesa ilahada yun ang i-fix ang kanang dira nga lugar nga limpyuhan nila. So ang mga tao ma-feel nila nga since limpyo naman na, mustap na ilang behavior kay maulaw naman sila kay na may nag-care anang ayong isa ka lugar. So kana for pag once ma-clean na siya ng isa ka lugar, malimpyo na gyud na siya. Since ma-stop naman ang ilahang mga ginabuhat kay wala na may murag una dito ang nakabuhat ato. So mana siya ang broken window theory.
So, good day and good afternoon or good evening, ma'am. So, my name is DJ A. Sabroso, and today I will be discussing the crime prevention through environmental design. So, crime prevention through environmental design is an action on focusing or designing the physical environment or place to make it more safer and getting low on crime rates. So CPTED has a memorable or notable project on the government of Metro Manila and Quezon City, which is the Quezon Memorial Circle. So it was a successful environmental design, which they make it safer and do it a low and having it a low crime rates. So what is crime prevention through environmental design? So when we say crime prevention, it was mo na siya ang crime na imong gusto i-prevent sa isa ka place, while ang environmental design nag-design ka sa isa ka structure but you make it more safer. So first, to improve lighting, for example is naa ka sa isa ka ngit-ngit na street and there was no lightning, of course dagan og criminal, maybe na some of them dagan og balak sa imuha. For example, ngit man kayo, then you will be forced to give your things because on how dangerous the place is. That's why to improve the lighting, you can see on how far the people will go to you, and you can see them and you can react as fast as you can if we have this improved lighting, and it will reduce crime rates. So other people can see you. It might help murag tabangan kanila pag makita kanila. Tapos clear lines of sight. These trees and shrubbery were trimmed and reposed to create clear view. So kani daw ang clear lines of sight daw is mga punuan o kaning mga shrubbery or kanang mga dahon nga mga plants nga ilang gipang design, silang gitrim nila or gigupitan para ma-reduce ang crime rate. To for example, magtago sila naay gigukod na criminal, then dakog chance na motago siya if dili nila putangan og design, pwede nila taguan to nga punuan. And third was the functional design. Paths and walkways were designed to improve visibility and increase foot traffic. So ang functional design daw is gi-enhance ni siya para dili maguot ang isa ka place. For example, naka sa for example kaning palengke, which is bisag asa ra man jud madto tanan tao. Kaning functional design gi-establish ni siya para ma-improve kung asa ta padulong or asa ta pabalik, para dili kayo guot, dili kay traffic for us na naglakaw-lakaw lang. And last but not the least is community engagement. ko community engagement mao na siya ang tabang sa isa ka tao to like make them more happy through environment and feel more safer towards the establishment na ilang gituan. Mas comfortable sila nga maadto dito para to make them realize na safe sila ani nga place, and to make them happy and their families too. So I think that's all for my report. Thank you. That's what the CPTED all means. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Diofiljan D. Tahale, and now I will discuss the social disorganization theory. Social disorganization theory is a criminology that looks at how the social and physical condition can lead to a crime. No? Dito natin malalaman kung paano makontrol ng community ang kanilang paano makokontrol ng tao ang kanilang community, no? There are such if the community has a social disorganization, it can lead it can increase the criminal behavior. In the Philippines, some urban areas with a high level of poverty is limited resources can experience the high crime rates, like lack of education. It can influence to criminal behavior. So how can we identify if the community has a social disorganization? First, lack of social control. The community can control the community itself, no? Di nila makontrol ang mga tao inside their community. It can lead to a criminal offense or criminal behavior, like for example, mga batanon, no, nag-riot sa atong community, riot. So di nila nakokontrol ang mga bata or sabi natin mga teenager, no. Second is it increase the poverty. Next is lack of social bond within the community, no. Like kulang sila ng community program, no. Community program, it can help to interact to other people, so we can and it can build a social trust. So now let move to the sign, no. How can we say that one community has a no, makikita natin sa kahit naka-experience they experience the social organization. First is abandoned house, no. Abandoned house, no. Let's say daghan og balay, yes, maraming mga bahay pero walang mga tao. Uh, it uh, it it is a sign that one of the community has a social disorganization. Di nila na organize like umaalis yung mga tao dahil siguro sa mga mataas ang crime rate, mataas ang crime rate nila. Next is the dark areas. Dark areas can be prone of a criminal or to a criminals. There are some areas na if there's dark areas na maraming mga tao na matatakot dumaan kasi madilim, like kasi pag sinabi mong dark areas, possible na pwedeng may mang hold up sa'yo yan. Then vandalism, no, sa atin community is vandalism is prohibited, no. Some community is prohibited because it can lead to dirty place. Then weak barangay support, no, like kulang ang mga kulang ang nagapatrol sa isa ka community, kaya it can lead to this social disorganization. Lain nga vandalism tungod kay weak ang barangay support nila. Weak ilang barangay support. So how can we manage that, no, para ma-prevent na to ang social disorganization? So we can be the Philippines can prevent the social disorganization, no. So the Philippines effort to address social disorganization frequently include the community-based initiative, government intervention, and stakeholder collaboration. So ang Philippines daw, no, kay gina-address na nila ang social disorganization. So nagkuha na sila na ang government kay nagkuha na og mga project na ma-intervention, no, para ma-prevent ang social disorganization, no. This project could focus in boosting education. So the government has a so makita na to na yuban niya na igahatag na og libre nga pag-eskwela, no. So if you're from the public school, then you transfer to private school, so you can have free tuition. So then creating job opportunities. So creating job opportunities to prevent the poverty of the community. So nagahatag sila og job opportunities. So katong mga walang trabaho, mabibigyan sila ng trabaho. Then strengthening the community policing and reviving area through structural and social programs. So kani siya like katong dark areas. So kung sila reviving areas through infrastructure, so ga-build sila og like itong mga dark areas, butngan to nila og mga suga. So no, mga kaingon ng mga tao. So kani siya nga lugar is safe na, di siya dark, no, wala na siya dark, di na siya ngit-ngit, so safe na siya ikuan. So makita na nimo ang imong paligid.